And I always knew I couldn't stay, so I had a dream that I just fly away. I've been on my own for a minute. Is it only me out there, searching for the place to begin it? Is it me? Is it you? Is it fear? Standing on the line I was given. People stare and ask me why I'm here. No one seems to think that I fit in, that I don't wanna be like them. No, 'cause I don't wanna be like them. 'Cause I know that I had a dream that someday I would just fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay, so I had a dream that I just fly away. I fly away. No one knew how low I was hitting. I was scared to reach for it all, knowing I was here for a reason. But I was scared that if I tried, I'd fall. So where do I go now that I'm in it? I never thought it'd be like this. Dreaming all my life and I didn't. Thought the grass was greener than it is. 'Cause I had a dream that someday I would just fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay, so I had a dream that I just fly away. I fly away. I fly away. 'Cause I had a dream that someday I would just fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay, so I had a dream that I just fly away.
All right, girls.
Excellent. Great job, ladies.
That was fantastic.
That was killer, girls. Killer.
Thank you.
Killing it.
You can't interrupt anymore.
I love you, girls. Thank you for that incredible
Dancing in the
dance.
rain.
Yeah, it is raining here in High
It's
Texas.
definitely thunderstorming out there.
Yeah, it's ripping. So
It was so gorgeous like 30 minutes ago.
thank you guys for joining us today. We have an awesome afternoon planned for you.
Something good to do on a rainy day.
That's right. That's right. We've had a crazy busy day in the tasting room as well, which has been pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and start with a little wine in our glass, shall we? What are we starting with, my love?
Yeah,
We're
you
starting
are.
with our the Blanc Du Bois is what we're starting today.
Yeah, let's get some wine.
I'm excited about tasting this wine.
Yeah,
Pretty delicious.
I had the 20 this morning, and it was
Coming soon.
in bottle or in tank rather. Well, it's been a heck of a week. It's been a heck of a couple of weeks. We haven't seen you guys in I guess going on 2 weeks. I guess
3 weeks?
3 weeks or 2 weeks.
3 weeks. Never a half because it's always on Saturdays.
You got me there.
Round up.
It's been how many of these? This is how many virtual tastings? 35.
Countless.
35.
35.
It's
35?
been 35 virtual
Wow.
tastings. This is our 35th
Wow.
one.
That is impressive.
Do we
Yeah.
need to talk about who's staying next to us
Yeah,
here?
if those of you guys don't know, this is Drew Baby
Hell.
Sides.
Some of them don't.
Yeah,
They might
probably
not.
not. Yeah.
He's our partner and founder of Lost Draw Cellars. And as everybody knows, we're all under one umbrella, which we could
Yeah,
use
it's been
today.
good. Yeah, good.
On a
Big
rainy
umbrella.
day, it's good to have a big
It's
umbrella.
a big umbrella now. There.
that is.
108 souls.
That's right, 108 souls. We talk about that often. So,
Yeah, cheers. I'm happy to be here. With
yeah,
you guys
man.
today.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for joining
much.
us.
These are fun. I think I did one 3 months ago. So if you haven't tuned in
Yeah.
to 3 months, you're missing out.
That's
Here I
right.
am,
That's
back,
right.
Back in action.
Well, Well, let's get rolling. We've had a pretty fun last 3 weeks. Well, what do we have to catch up on? We did a really fun retreat at the river. That
Tess
was awesome.
turned 7.
That's right. Tess did turn 7. We had a great day,
We
family
have
day.
pictures. I don't know what you gave. We have pictures of some of
I
our
did
our
see.
high
Yeah,
notes.
we have some high notes. We spent some time at the river. Tess had 6 little girls over.
That was
Yeah,
exciting,
How was
right?
that?
Well, Chris
It was-
wasn't there. He couldn't tell you.
I was
river,
there.
It's,
You got
it's
home
river
at
season. though.
bedtime.
It is river season.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
look, there's
We did Memorial Day at the river too. That was a good time.
Yeah. We're both at the same river, just not at the
Different.
Yeah,
same
not
place.
on the same river.
That's right,
But at
that's
the same
right.
river.
I tell you what, if you guys haven't made it out to any river in Texas, you absolutely should, because it is an amazing opportunity to get the family out, spend some time in the wilderness, all that good stuff. So
I was actually thinking, like, literally 2 days ago, like how lucky we are in the hill country that we're so close to like some really great lakes, some rivers. Like, there's a lot to get out and do around here.
pretty epic, man. Pretty epic.
Like, I grew up in the High Plains, long way to water. So
What's the lake there?
you can go to like Lake Allen Henry, which is
Right.
about an hour and a half.
Which is like, is it great or is it mediocre?
It's actually not bad.
Right.
It's amazing how many people in Lubbock own boats, even though there's no lake even remotely close to it. They all go out to Allen Henry. But out here, you got a lot of options. You got like 3 or 4 like really close lakes within an hour, and yeah, pretty
And
awesome.
speaking of Lubbock too, we just got back. We've done kind of Andrew and I are in the
Yeah.
middle of our loop season, so we're traveling from vineyard to vineyard. We went and saw every single one of our farms in the High Plains and all of our growing partners. We've had a couple of spots not too so great that got hail, and a lot of spots that looked really fantastic. So talk about a big high note. We're super blessed. We're super grateful to have.
Huge high note for sure.
All La Pradera Vineyards looks great. Lost Draw Vineyards looks pretty good. We've had some really good blocks scattered around Terry County, also in Lubbock County as well. So
Yeah, I would say like this is always the time of year that I like really start getting like kind of anxious for harvest, and this year I'm like abnormally like very excited for like getting out and going do harvest. It's I don't know, kind of feel like I'm ready for it.
yeah, because we're tired of bottling.
Yeah, we have been bottling a lot. Well, a lot of bottling woes.
Our last video, we asked you viewers to send in some of your high notes pictures of what you've been up to, and Kelsey's put together a
Ooh,
few to share with everybody. Like, someone got a new puppy. Isn't that the cutest?
that's awesome.
Cutest.
Hey.
And then somebody's
That
got.
didn't look like a new puppy.
Well, I think it's new to this person. Yeah. And then
Probably
some-
rescue.
drinking some of our
Kudos.
good wine. Someone's making some salsa. Someone's out in their garden. All good.
Hey
things.
Joel, no pants drop Saturday.
Well, Brian asked if you had any no pants stories to share.
Oh
since the
yes,
last video.
I will get into that in a little bit. Thanks a lot for bringing that up.
Yeah, that's so like I'm still kind of just baffled by that whole situation.
I am
to be
too.
honest with you.
Christy, good to see you, by the way. Let's see who else is on. Kristen, Renee, Brian Moore. So good to see you guys. Yeah, so a couple other things that happened this
Here we
week.
go.
I was running late to work. I'm gonna have to,
You need some more wine for
Late
this
to
story,
work, which
doll.
is really rare for you, right, Chris?
I knew that was coming. Well deserved. I am always about 4 to 6 minutes late. I usually text.
We
and
call it
say-
CBB time.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
working on
Someone else called it Chris Standard Time.
it. Yeah,
Some
Well-
good terms out there. For
It's great
Chris
though
running
because you're
late.
consistent. So
that's right.
Yeah.
And I usually text and say,
yeah,
hey,
you are. Yeah.
So anyways, this week the past couple of weeks I've been working on these great morning rituals and like doing these little like exercises, Tibetan, the 5 Tibetan rites and all this crazy shit. I don't know. I love it. But and then working out and doing my meditation. I had like the best morning, and then I was like, man, I got to make it like hurry up.
Gotta get to this meeting.
I also like taking cold showers sometimes after working out, like ice cold showers. So like,
That's really normal.
to make sure
Did you
that
hear when he does that? He's like, oh. Like he yelps in there.
not anymore. I used to.
I've witnessed it.
Okay, so the reason I do this cold shower, and we'll get past this in a minute, is so when things happen that are tough in my life, that I try not to get my blood pressure or my heart rate elevated so I can make better decisions. So I would like to shock my body and practice Like, so when I'm really hot, get ice cold showers. Screw these guys. They're just they're
Oh, we're all in,
laughing.
man.
Yeah.
Listening.
So anyways, on the way to work,
Back to the pants story.
it should have been I should have been a clue that I had my phone and my billfold in my hand, and I'm getting into my truck, and I live 5 minutes away from here, so I'm driving to work. I'm also like, I'm jacked up. I'm thinking about our meeting because I'd already gone over the meeting minutes the night before, the agenda, and I look down right as I'm about to turn into work, and I realize I'm not wearing any pants or any shorts. I have boxers on, but zero shorts. I don't know how. I even put on my shoes. How stupid is that?
I forget a lot of things, and like anyone who knows me that's listening, I'm notorious for leaving all things behind. Wallet, sunglasses, you name it. Never forgot my pants.
Well, then I go back to the house like super quick, throw on shorts, take my shoes off, throw on shorts, come back, and I'm just giggling at this point because I'm also working on this new perspective on life of like, love everything that happens, the good stuff, the bad stuff. And then, so I take a little video of it just because I'm like, I hope this makes somebody's day. And then I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm ever going to post that video. And then I'm getting into...
Yeah, I appreciate how open you are.
Yeah,
I get into work and they're like, what's going on? Why are you laughing? It's like, nothing. They're like, yeah. Anyways, so if you have not seen my video on Facebook, laugh all you want. I hope it makes your day better.
So pretty good.
You might or might not get to see Chris without pants on. I don't know. You just have to watch the video.
There's no pantsless Chris.
No, come on.
That was the teaser.
So let's jump into this wine. This is fantastic.
Oh, and Kelsey's got something. Do we
Yeah,
want
we
to
got a
talk about
question?
this coming?
Shoot.
Carson wants to know, do you know the story behind the name of the varietal Blanc Du Bois?
Oh, what the
Blanc Du Bois means
Blanc Du Bois.
white wood, but I don't know like why it's called that. It's a French American hybrid. It's got some Muscat lineage. It's got some like Chardonnay lineage, but I don't know why it's called. Somebody could probably tell.
This one actually reminds
White
me
of the
on
Woods.
the nose a lot of just a really classic Sauvignon Blanc.
Yep. And I tell you what, this is one of the wines that got Bill and I together. We were making some pretty cool Blanc Du Bois back in 2006, 2007 when I first got in the industry. And, Bill tasted some of the wines that I had made, and it was kind of a cool little way we got introduced, and that's how we became friends over Blanc Du Bois. Bill said, by the way, we're never going to make Blanc Du Bois if we ever work together. And then 10 vintages later, 11 vintages later, we're still making it. This actually comes from Weimar, Texas. Our good friends down at Whistling Duck Vineyards. They sold us this fruit. And Tony, I love Tony Deff because he's really embraced Blanc Du Bois. And it's a grape that I'm very, very passionate about. So this is all fermented in barrel, all neutral barrels. We did aged sur lie, which means aged over lees. We also did a pretty rigorous stirring program about every 2 weeks. But this wine can really age on the lees for 7-8 months before bottling. But the acidity is so delicious. It's so crisp. Some of this actually went into Mary Ruth, into the main blend in 2019. Another fun fact, this wine is great with oysters. This wine is great with shellfish.
Good. Karen just asked what you'd eat with it.
Oh, yeah. Also redfish. If you ever get to Jack Allen's Kitchen in Austin, they have a great redfish dish, and they usually have this bottle of wine on their menu. It's absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favorite pairings. But such a delicious wine. It's all grown by just like old retired guys generally in East Texas. These guys are not retired, by the way. They still have their day jobs.
What's the name of Whistling Duck?
Whistling Duck Vineyards in
I know.
Weimar. Is it Weimar or Weimar?
I don't know. Sounds German.
Yeah, Weimar,
Weimar.
Texas. It's super delicious.
What's the story of the name? Do you know?
Whistling Duck.
They have a duck who whistles. I don't know. No, I don't know.
They're duck hunters or something?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's true, right? Because ducks do whistle, right?
Yeah. That's what I thought.
It's like a whistle. It's
I was
like
going to ask you pre this meeting, but I thought on
thanks
air,
for the heads up. Yeah, I don't know why it's called Whistling
putting
Duck.
you on the spot.
No, they're super nice guys. They actually did get hurt pretty bad in the freeze. And they also have a winery there too. I've only been to their winery once. I haven't tasted their wine in years, but super nice folks. And we wanted to buy fruit from them again this year, but it doesn't look like that's going to be a possibility because they're pretty short. So
2022 then.
2022. That's right.
Yes.
That's
Blanc
right.
Du Bois, one of the original indigenous grapes of Texas.
No, it's a French American hybrid. So it was developed in Central Florida in the 80s, I believe, late 80s. So it was bred.
I've never really worked with it a whole lot, but a lot of like you see Blanc Du Bois like in a lot of cellars of people that grow it, other than obviously the High Plains versus Zero.
Mhm.
I think in the High Plains.
I think it's super
Hotter
versatile.
climate grape.
Yeah, and it's powdery resistant.
Yeah.
That's why it does better in the East.
Yes.
It's a little more.
Yeah, on the
What?
Gulf Coast, and it's Pierce's disease resistant.
One of the only grapes that you see that far east
Yep.
and that far south, really.
Yep, and we absolutely love Blanc Du Bois, and I want to keep making it for a while. And we also make it in a variety of different styles. We've made a method Champenois sparkling wine. We've made a bunch of different still wines. Yeah, so it's pretty versatile.
Katie, you're
I
dead
love the
on.
way it comes out in the Mary Ruth as well. I always feel like it's just a
It's that little greenness, man,
Perfect
a little bit of that
focus.
grassy note that I love. So I want to keep drinking this, but guys, I know that we have a busy Saturday.
I'm super excited about the rosé. Y'all, this coming week on Friday, actually, we are doing our first ever rosé dinner
well,
here at
what?
William Chris. I know.
Ooh, yeah.
So excited about it.
This Friday, you can
There's-
get tickets. There's
there's-
actually only
Yeah,
10
just a
tickets left.
handful left. If you want to get on and get tickets, make sure you log into your member portal first. So
Chef
Make sure you do
Ty
that.
is rocking it right now.
I'm so excited.
Such a great concept because, I mean, rosé goes so well with so many different dishes in Texas, like Texas-inspired cuisine for sure. I think that's very underscored in Texas and the wine
Absolutely.
region, like how versatile rosé is for pairing with food,
Absolutely.
especially the style of rosés that we make here in Texas. Yeah, we're talking about this wine. So
Yeah,
if
let's talk
you're
about. We're pouring the rosé now.
Yeah,
No,
this
no
is,
dump Saturday. No dump Saturday.
No dump. I would dump it. Let's do it. Yeah, so this is a Counoise Rosé. If you're not familiar with Counoise, it is pretty rare. It's very rare in Texas. There's only two places that I know that grow it. Farmhouse Vineyards have a block that they farm some Counoise, and then also a newer vineyard out in Tokyo, the Moore Vineyard, where most of this actually comes from.
Mm-hmm.
We've been working with this Counoise for 4 years now. You know, the really funny story that I always tell about this grape, especially in its introduction to Texas, is the guys at Farmhouse actually bought like the rootstock. They thought that they were buying Cinsault.
No way.
Yeah, and so like this was actually not even a plan for them to plant, and they got it, and it started growing, and it was growing a little different than all the other Cinsault that they have right next to it. And all of a sudden they called, and they started researching a little bit more, and turns out they got Counoise that like was not actually even a plant.
Was it just because they just didn't read it right? Because it does, I could see how that could happen, or is it because they?
I'm not even sure. I just know that like they kind of told me the story one time, because it's like one of those grapes you're like, what the hell is that? Like, but it's a classic grape to like. It actually shows up. It's one of the Chateauneuf de Pop wine or grapes. So it's kind of dashed in a lot of Southern Rhone blends, but we've always made it into rosé. We've made a couple red
Delicious.
wines out of it, but traditionally the last 4 years or 3 years, we've fermented it in concrete, which is kind of a cool concept.
This is fermented in concrete.
This is actually a blend of some concrete and some stainless, but
I
This
still get
one's-
that minerality. Out of it.
yeah,
I
this
really
one's
appreciate it.
dialed more acid driven this year than it has been in the past. Usually it's a little fuller bodied and a little bit more round, but the way the fruit and the vintage was, it just seemed more like it would be a better fit for an acid driven wine, and it came really nice.
What would you eat with this?
Delicious.
Besides salami.
Yeah, salami. This is really good. It's a good charcuterie wine, honestly. It does well with any kind of like cheesy, like fats, anything that has quite a bit of.
Is this 100% from Moore Vineyard?
This is about 90% from Moore Vineyard and has a little bit of farmhouse
Gotcha.
in it. The stuff that was from farmhouse was the stuff that was in fermented in concrete, and everything from Moore Vineyard was in stainless.
But all
Counoise, 100%.
western Terry County.
Yeah, and if
Or
you're
in
not
Tokyo.
familiar, like Yeah, Tokyo.
Yeah, has everybody?
Yeah, so
Anybody ever?
there
been
is
to
a Tokyo, Texas. Believe it or not, like there's
like
Paris,
there's
Texas.
Texas, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But Tokyo, Texas is actually situated about right in the middle between Brownfield and Plains, way out West Texas, like almost to the border of New Mexico. But it's this tiny little farming community, is what it really is. And then there's some guys out there that have planted some vineyards recently in the last, 5 years, and it's kind of cool. It's situated in a pretty unique area, and
Sure, it's way sandier out there and way redder soil.
Yeah, very iron-rich soil, but
Mhm.
this wine turned out very well.
Yeah, this is killer, man. I just love.
It is a 2020. It was one of the first rosés that we bottled. We're actually doing 6 rosés this year at Lost Draw, which is
Woohoo.
I think the most ever. We have a rosé party coming up, so if you are
That's
in
on
the wine
Saturday.
club,
Do
you're about to get a lot of
do you
rosés.
feel as a wine producer?
Yeah, we're
Sold
sold
out.
out, so you can't come. So.
Oh
You can come to
yeah.
the rosé dinner.
Do you find as a winemaker, like you go these, like we seem to like, oh, it's a great idea to make 6 rosés, and then the next year we're like, that was awful. We're gonna go back to 3, and then
Yeah.
the next year we're like, oh, but let's see her make.
What I'll say is like we've actually, instead of, and I think we talked about this probably a year ago, we really changed our program for rosés. Instead of like forcing it, we kind of like let the vintage come to us as far as like what we will actually make into rosé and what we won't. Like there's certain times, like we never plan any block anymore to be like, this is going to be a rosé block. It just kind of from in the beginning of the year. And then like once we get closer to harvest and this things start to ripen, we're like, well, this fruit might not actually ripen all the way to what we'd want it for a red. And so like that's the wine that we end up designating as the rosé. Or we do a lot of Saignée, and that's like one of the probably 50% of our rosé wine comes from Saignée juice, and that serves multiple purposes. As you know, we make the reds a little bit better, and then you get I think for I don't know, whatever reason, I feel like our Saignée rosés in the last 2 years have
We've got them dialed in.
Like, I mean, unbelievably good.
When Andrew says Saignée, we call our hillbilly rig. We have a Saignée cart, which is looks like a fire hose that we shove down in the bin. And this is generally done at like 2:00 in the morning, and
12 beers, 2 o'clock.
yeah.
During harvest.
During harvest,
Yeah.
we're pulling all the juice out of the freshly harvested grapes, and then treating that wine separately as rosé. It's a very laborious task, always in the middle of the night. But I think that it's just such. We've started to really figure it out, and then we can clarify the juice and put it on the back of the truck and send it home, and so. Our guys at home can actually take the red grapes and put it in the fermenter, and then also pull the white juice and put it in concrete, put it in stainless, and it's pretty awesome that way. And I think there's more and more companies maybe that have been seeing how we've been doing it. And
yeah, it's actually like it's wine that you make that actually never hits a press.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an interesting process. The fact that it never goes through a press, and I don't know if that is good or bad or indifferent, but I think it actually makes a
way less tannin pickup for sure.
Yeah, and the wine just seems to like always like retain acid a little bit more, especially from the rosés. And I don't know if that's a product of it just being the raw juice that you're pulling out and fermenting, but it's been really good. It's very well.
That wine is delicious, man. I love it.
But this one is not the same wine.
No,
no, we have been talking about Saignée, but this is not. This actually, what is pretty cool though, this one had some skin contact, which we always put some information like that on the back of the bottles, especially on rosés.
12-hour skin contact.
And what that means is that it literally, once it was harvested, the fruit and the berry set with the juice for 12 hours before it got pressed. And so you pick up a lot of those characters that you like, the strawberry notes and a lot of the aromatics, I feel like come from that extended skin contact time, and then kind of helps that mid palate a little bit as well. And
for sure.
Kind of rounds out the wine. So something we play with all the time. But
so good.
Well,
sometimes on purpose, sometimes just by happenstance.
Yeah, depending on what line
how
we're
long
on.
it takes to get it to the press.
Yeah, last year we ripped off the back of Andrew's truck, literally the bed ripped all the way off. We were pulling.
Yeah, that happened during harvest.
Yeah.
About
I heard that
3:30
story.
a.m.
Yeah, I call him and he's like, "Oh, I just ripped off my truck," and I'm hauling back on the other side of him, and there was a wellhead that was leaking, and he had a full gooseneck on. I had a full gooseneck on.
I had 10 tons on a gooseneck and got stuck in the mud. And then when we were pulling the truck out backwards with the fruit, it pulled the body off of my frame. So it was a fun harvest night.
And then the next morning, I just dropped off all these grapes that I've been hauling, and then I go to drop a trailer, and I look over as I make the turn, and I look at them like, this is a tandem dual gooseneck trailer, and I look back, and I'm literally talking to Andrew at the same exact time about where we're going to take his truck and all that stuff. They're like, Philip is going to take care of it, and I look back and I go, hold on, man, I don't have a whole wheel, so a tandem wheel just totally blew out. The whole hub blew, and it was in a pasture, and I had to go back.
The harvest woes.
Yeah.
Awesome too.
All in 20 hours.
What a mess.
Fun stuff, though.
Yeah, man. You know, I will say that Andy and some of our High Plains growers have taught me, like, they never get too amped up. Like when shit breaks, like, you don't get mad. You don't get frustrated. You're just like, oh, this is gonna happen, and so you
almost expect it at this point. You're
you
at some point, like,
you
get to a point in harvest, it's like things are going too well, like something's coming.
But the best farmers, I think, like, they almost just like it. Just how they react to it is pretty awesome, and I've tried to model that after.
That's why you take your cold showers.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna get you in the cold shower.
Oh, okay. We just poured this Cinsault.
All right. Nice transition.
Keeping it real. Yeah, so we got the Cinsault. If you don't have it in your glass set, definitely get it in there.
So
If you know, Cinsault is a grape that's actually the William Chris guys, I think, of one of y'all's best wines, honestly. Cinsault's become a staple in the cellar at William Chris, and
For sure.
I think it's really a fantastic grape for Texas in general. It seems like it grows. It's very vigorous every year. It seems to.
That's another grape that I think that is perfect for exactly what you were talking about earlier, Andrew, about, and we do this back and forth. This is kind of one of the many things of the synergies is the Cinsault blocks that we have when you're talking about what to pick for rosé.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Cinsault makes great rosé. However, we don't make that call until late in the season, and Cinsault is one of those varieties that it will rot if it's a little heavy, or if you get rain in the wrong spot at the wrong time. The grapes will fail very quickly, and so we are always like really dialed in, waiting, because before our companies were together, we had all these different blocks, and they were all split and all that other good stuff, and then we'd always kind of have
trading fruit.
Yeah. It's like, hey, he's Andrew's like, man, I need a rosé, and so we're like, great, this block is going to be perfect, and I'm like, great, I'll take this one for red. And that's why every other vintage you seem like at William Chris, our Cinsault is either Lost Draw La Pradera or Lost Draw La Pradera. It goes back and forth because it seems like every other year. And
trading it out. This one's from La Pradera, and I mean, like Chris was saying, this fruit's usually, it's not going to have a big like tannin structure. It's big berries. Like, so this is like one of the, if you could almost imagine like a table grape, like the grapes get very, very big. So you have less skin contact. That usually leads to lower tannin wines, but these are the style of wines that I think are like perfect for Texas, and the ones that we are going to become, well known for. And I think the ones that are great to drink through the summer. This wine drinks really well, just a tad bit chilled even, and more acid driven, lower alcohol. There's this whole wine movement. I just heard about this the other day. We're gonna go through it because I'm
excited to hear about what this is.
Clay was telling me at the leadership thing. There's this like whole wine movement that's going on in California right now. Like, they're going to more balanced winemaking, like less extracted, lower alcohol, like medium bodied. It's like, what are you talking about? We've been doing this for like 5 years over here in Texas. And it's like this big famous thing that's going on out on the West Coast. And it's like this trend that's going on. It's like, well, kind of been doing that since inception here,
Yeah.
and they're actually starting to plant and search for varieties like Cinsault, Mervet, Grenache, lower ABV, a little bit more medium bodied, more acid driven. That's kind of funny to me because it's like, oh, now they're like kind of
Now it's
going
cool to
full
make
circle.
wine that
It's-
goes great with tacos.
you don't have to make a wine that's just like literally you can pour it out and it just stands up because it's so big and
Right.
tannic. So
Well, half those 15% alcohol wines, like while they're good and interesting, it's like they're not food wines. I mean, like it's not what I want to be drinking with food. And not to mention, like I like drinking wine, like I like it a lot, and I would much rather be able. You realize, like if you drink 2 glasses of 15% wine versus 2 glasses of 12.5% wine,
Big
like
difference.
it's like drinking an extra 2
glass,
beers.
exactly.
Extra
Yeah, it's like literally drinking 2 glasses of wine
Oh,
and then drinking a beer, which I love drinking beer while I drink wine too. But you know,
Usually the beer comes after.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Kristen had a really good question. Y'all can maybe hear the rain falling here. It's been raining, I feel like, for my whole life. It's been such a wet spring, early summer, and she's wondering what effect that has on our grapes.
That's a great question. We are good right now. We keep a very clean vineyard on purpose. We have spent lots of dollars. I tell you what, our vineyard crew is super busy right now. They're not only shoot thinning, we're spraying, we're leaf thinning, leaf pulling, making sure that our canopy is opened up. We need it to quit raining though. Like right now, we're cool. Like right now, it's great. We need a good. The wine, the vines have had a good drink. We will not water for the rest of the season unless it gets super hot.
Well, I was driving by or just looking out yesterday, and there's just standing puddles
Yeah.
in each row, and that's
So we're not
okay.
in-
I mean,
we're
it dries
not-
up pretty quick. I
Yeah,
guess.
we're not in bad shape now by any means. Like the vintage, in fact, like the perfect vintage would be as much rain as we've got, and then stop like a week ago, and then it's
And then
like
it doesn't
totally
rain until
dry,
November.
except for one inch 30-minute shower that happens in the middle of the hottest part of the summer.
Yeah, like about July, like
Yeah.
17th.
That's-
if we could get a good rain. in July,
And then it doesn't rain for the rest of the time. You know, that's the perfect vintage. But yeah, we're fine. It's now if it rains like this for another month, like every other day.
it just gets challenging for the vineyard crew to like keep up. So
Yeah,
like
disease pressure, hedging.
just like all your grass is probably greener than it has been in 2 or 3 years, and all your plants are growing better in your flower beds. Well, the same is happening in the vineyard. Like everything's just growing really fast, and so it's hard to keep up with it, especially if you can't get a tractor in to like even shred because there's so much water.
I was at we shot a bunch of pigs last night, and we're bringing them into Woody's cooler. Oh, sorry, Woody's our he's a carpenter and peach farmer, and he works.
Also likes to hunt.
Yeah.
Has a cooler for pigs.
Yeah, well, no, he's also a deer processor. Anyways, long story short, he was like complaining about all the rain because he's like, he's a hay farmer too, and he's like, man, we're not going to be able to cut for we're 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then it's got to dry for 2 weeks, and if we don't have 2 weeks of dry time, like it's not going to be any good. So it's very rare that you hear hay farmers bitch about the rain, but it's definitely starting to get to that point. Like, okay, we're good.
Is it supposed to keep? It's supposed to keep raining though, isn't it?
For another couple days. 4
It's pretty
days.
insane.
that's
I was
okay.
looking at the weather actually yesterday, and there's not a high above 84 degrees for
Yeah.
like 10 days.
No.
So it's pretty
Such
crazy.
a
But we'll take the
cool
mild
year.
vintage because it's gonna be hot. You know, it's gonna
It would be
good.
great because we have a really big project going on right here at William Chris for the crush pad. We have a new whole crush pad thing that we've designed to bring in fruit, make it more efficient, and we're going to be bumping right up against harvest. So it'd be great if it pushed it out a week or two.
Yeah, perfect. Works real great.
Wouldn't bother me a bit.
All right, well, let's keep on moving, guys. I mean, wow, Andrew, stunning wine, man. Seriously, both of
so
those
delicious.
have been. I cannot tell you how proud I am. Well, it gets me excited. Today I was working in the tasting room all day, and how proud I am when somebody says, where are you going next? And they say, oh, well, we don't know. And I say, have you heard of Lost Draw? They say no, because it's an awesome opportunity. Although I wish they were going, but like, hey, let me make your reservation. But how proud I am to say, like, that list at Lost Draw right now is badass. And it's like the wines that you and Brad and the team, Luis and Jordy are able to produce is just, it's making me so proud to have you guys in the winemaking family and be all part of one, because it's like these
Pushing the bar
wines.
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's cool to see our winemaking teams jive together. And I'll tell you guys there, it's really awesome to see our cellar team really congeal, because winemaking is very, Brad makes it, the Lost Draw wines. Andrew and Brad make the wines at Lost Draw differently than the wines are made at William Chris. There's some fundamental, just slight nuance changes, and it's cool that you can taste these different wines and that stylistically they're made totally differently. And eye for quality, absolutely, but you're getting these like two different stamps, which is really fun. But
it makes me excited to try this next wine, because we actually at Lost Draw have a 2018 Malbec from the exact same block.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the ones.
That would have been fun to have that side by side. Next time.
That's the teaser right there.
I don't know why for a split second I thought we were pouring Gillam Gap Vineyards, but this is Lost Draw.
Yes, it is.
And this block looked great. We were just in this vineyard. It looks like what, 2.5, 3 tons to the acre. Tony's block too. We have a little side block of Malbec at Lost Draw Vineyards that's called Tony's block, and it was actually named after the old vineyard manager. But it just so happens our winemaker's named Tony, so it works out perfect. And now Tony O'Feel's block.
Get to keep it, Tony's block.
That's right. Man,
actually, I think that Malbec is one of the grapes that continues to surprise me in the high plains, especially, and even in the hill country. We've got some Malbec from Hoover Valley that's just been fantastic.
Killer. I tried it today.
It's pretty remarkable. I never thought that Malbec would be one of those mainstay wines, especially on a list year in and year out. But we've made Malbec every single year since. It's
taken us a lot to get it right in the vineyard, though, because Malbec is one of those really tricky vines. It wants to produce a lot of fruit, and it also is very, very vigorous. So in the vineyard, it really takes a lot of attention to detail and timing. So if you miss just a little step here and there, I would say it's a more challenging grape to farm, because if the grapes are too thick, if there's too many shoots and we don't thin them out appropriately, you're going to get rot. They're very thin skinned. So if we don't have our disease management program very, very tight at the tail end of this season, if it rains, we're going to get hosed. The grapes are going to fail, and we're going to have a lot lesser of a vintage. If we have too much fruit on the vine and it takes an extra week to ripen and then it rains, that's one of those risks. So we typically, and Andrew talked about low alcohol wines, this is 12.2. And this is where stylistically sometimes Andrew, and I will say varietally, and you've taught me a lot about Tempranillo production and all that good stuff. I'd say that William Chris generally picks a little bit earlier than most people, and Malbec is one of those grapes that I think it's important to pick a little on the less ripe side, at least in Texas, because if you get rain, it's over.
So as soon as it's good, grab it.
Don't let it. Because
if there's fear of rain or pressure of rain, then you should probably go ahead and get it.
Yeah. So, but man, this is delicious aromatically, and I'm with you, Drew. I think this is a variety that we continue to build with in Texas. However, I wouldn't have a new grower plant this. We need our more advanced growers.
You wouldn't recommend someone, if they're starting a vineyard, don't plant Malbec.
No.
Well, and we've just seen it, how good it is. This is probably 10 or 11 years old, the vines are, and then the stuff from Gillam Gap, they're probably 8 to 10 at this point, and it's gotten so much better with maturity, but it's not one of those. I mean, it takes a while to before it starts to be more self-sustaining for the plants. And we've seen that a lot in the high plains from different varieties, and some of them happen at 5 years, and some of them happen at 8 to 10 years, and we're just now kind of figuring that stuff out.
Yeah,
so that's what's pretty interesting about.
Well, the next decade, I tell you what, I was tasting Hoover Valley blocks this morning. When I say blocks, barrels this morning with Ben Calais, and oh my gosh, I'm just so excited about some of the 2020 wines we've got coming out. I'm excited about bringing more fruit in from Hoover Valley this year, and even Lost Draw Vineyards. We have got some really cool fruit coming out of there too. The Tempranillo on the list right now at William Chris, the Lost Draw Tempranillo has been the best-selling wine the past month and a half, which is pretty cool. So, wow,
That's an old G.
That was one of the first wines I ever made from Lost Draw.
Yeah,
at the old stomping
that was
grounds.
the first wine that we planted there. So
that
one's always special to me because it is one that I actually participated in the blood, sweat, and tears of planting.
Aww.
So
that's where we
That's
met.
cool.
We met over the Tempranillo
we
block.
met at the Tempranillo block.
He was pounding T-posts.
At this planting?
Yeah.
The planting
Yeah.
of these?
I wasn't at the planting, but I was at the T-post because they had planted and they came back over and built the vineyard. I remember that Andy was like, Andy was so proud. He was like, hey, I don't know where the screen went, but it went away if we're still on. But Andy was like, I've got all these Texas Tech football players.
And he did.
Yeah, working in my vineyard. It's pretty cool. And then he was like, oh, yeah, and my nephew, he knows all of them. And he was just like strutting around like a banny rooster, so excited.
I was a smart one on I'd ride the equipment and let them.
Yeah. But wouldn't you tell me they do like a contest?
Oh, yeah. They were like, meatheads for sure. They're trying to see who could pound the most T-post and get to the end of the road.
The ultimate off season.
Yeah, that's good. We were good back then at Texas Tech too, so I feel like I played a part in it.
The old Pat Mahomes days.
Yeah, no, that was before Pat Mahomes.
That was
like
Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah.
I remember when he was at
Graham Harrell.
A&M.
Mm-hmm.
That was back in the day. Michael Crabtree.
Still playing in the NFL, right?
I don't know, maybe.
So, guys,
I was going to ask what you would pair this with. What would you eat with this?
Oh, this beef. Come on. Give me some beef. Give me
Yeah.
barbacoa. Give me something fatty. Even though it's not overly tannic, I would call this medium bodied. I'd absolutely go with like a fattier lamb. I would like a ribeye with this. Something.
I think beef's always a great pairing because generally Malbec, like Syrah, has a little bit of herbaceousness to it, and it always pairs really well with meat for me. Like it just like kind of adds another like complexity to
Quesada.
the beef. There you go.
Oh, yes, please.
Now you're talking
Yes,
about that
please.
brownfield.
Yeah, some Taco Express quesada.
there we
Yeah, I love that place.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, guys, I think something really, really important to think about. As you see our labels here, you've got Lost Draw Vineyards, Texas High Plains. We are so excited to announce to you
this is good stuff right here.
some big changes
This
that are
should have
coming
been
up.
our high notes.
Yeah, high notes. So everybody knows the bill that we've been working on for 6 years, not 2, not 5, 6 years, 3 legislative sessions, just got signed by the governor. It's gone through the House, gone through the Senate, and it's due in part to the very hard work of a lot of different people, but almost mainly Mr. Matthew Bentley. Matthew, come here over here for
He's
1
actually
second.
here
He's here.
He's
Guest
here.
appearance.
Yeah,
And I told him that we wouldn't bring him on, and then I said, yeah, we're doing
here
it.
he is.
I want everybody to meet this guy.
He made the mistake of showing up today.
Matthew is the best lobbyist in the world, public affairs person. Not because he's the best, because he works for William Chris Wine most of the time. And Matthew, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you. Matthew and I have been dear friends for a very long time. And we met actually Doug Lewis Doug Lewis introduced him to me and said, hey, this guy's going to be a rock star. And he's getting in the lobbying game, and he's been working in legislation. But Matthew, I can't thank you enough, man. I'm so proud to be on this road with you, and look out, world, because now that we got the labeling thing done,
Victory lap, man.
Imagine what else we could do. So,
well, thank you, Chris. And you can see I've got him pretty well trained up. Lobbyist is a term I use with friends, but in public, we church it up and call it public affairs, or government relations. So, but good work. But no, seriously, Chris, it was a big honor working on that. Chris Brundred has been the tip of the spear on that endeavor from day one until its final day. And it absolutely wouldn't have happened without Chris. And it was absolutely not easy. And it was a pretty big tug of war, but I think it is a monumental step for the Texas wine industry. And I think it's something that Texas growers get to be proud of, and the state gets to be proud of. And Chris and Andrew and Catherine have done so much to further the Texas wine industry to begin with, and then this is just one more gigantic step that they've helped usher in. So hats off to you, Chris, and,
thanks, man.
the Texas wine
Cheers to
growers.
this.
and everybody.
Cheers to that,
Cheers,
man. Well,
y'all.
Andrew, I can't think, or Matthew, I can't thank you enough, man, for all the hard work you've done. And I say very
Countless
little,
hours, man.
very little money. I mean, very little money. I mean, I'm just super appreciative because I know this has been a passion project for you. You believed in it since day one. So thanks again for all your hard work, man. I appreciate it. We're actually going tonight. We're going to drink as much wine as possible and write the back label for Tony and Andrew and I blended up a little bit of a couple of barrels with Matthew, his own label called La Bentley. I don't know if it'll be available to the public, but there's going to be 2 barrels.
He's going to
of
drink
wine
it
there.
all himself.
It sounds like y'all are gonna drink it all the night.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. But thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it, man, and all your hard work. I can't wait to climb the next mountain with you. Hopefully, it's not
Thank you
as
so much, man.
hopefully it's not as tall as the one we just did. So,
I'm sure we'll be.
yeah. That's right.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm
good
totally
stuff.
getting to embarrass Matthew because he didn't want to come on today, but he was standing here because I wanted to bring him on. But
Somebody in the comments said he deserves a cape, and they're right.
he absolutely does.
Yeah.
That guy's he's the hardest working guy at the Capitol, and I'm so proud and happy for him, and happy to have him as a friend and a legislative advisor. So. Awesome.
You need a little advising from time to time.
I need a lot of advising and some breaks. Speaking of breaks, I have to get back into this little Cinsault.
Yeah, I want some more Cinsault. I
Awesome.
think that was my favorite today.
Hey, do we have a giveaway? Did we just totally blow by a
well, we
giveaway?
forgot to tease it, but it's supposed to be the last thing we do.
Hey, before I missed our pro tip of the week, guys,
Oh yeah, this is
Hill and Vine. Get there. Hill and Vine, Fredericksburg, new restaurant just opened up. Our boy Jesse Barter, he used to be the GM of 4.0. The guy is a stud. He procured not only great wines, but the guy is an amazing chef. He's putting together a hell of a team and a hell of a company. Go support him. Go check out Hill and Vine, Fredericksburg on your next stop in. I think they're open for both lunch and dinner.
I believe so.
They've got a great bar menu, great wine list. Go check them out and go support our boy Jesse Barter because he's doing a great job.
absolutely. Yeah, I went by there for the soft industry opening, and
We missed that night.
it was pretty epic. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a good addition to Fredericksburg.
This guy used to cook ribs for the whole team every Saturday, and then cook chili, cook everything. I mean,
Wow.
do everything for his whole team.
Right down the street from Lost Draw too. So
Yeah, that's
after you're
right.
done drinking wine at Lost Draw, you can just bop on over to.
Yeah.
That being said, guys, if you haven't been in to go get on the list at Lost Draw right now, it is seriously top notch. I got to go through the wines about a week ago, and it's just blown away. It was pretty cool, and they even gave me some off menu wines that were pretty awesome.
Oh,
So, which, if you guys ask for off menu wines, a good pro tip of the week.
There you
Yeah,
go.
they can say, you always say, can I revisit this wine, or could I visit any of your off menu wines? Which is a really swanky way of saying hey man, can I get another pour? But it's not an asshole way of saying
Just
it.
tell
So-
them Chris sent you.
yeah, yeah, that is very true. All right, some housekeeping stuff before we give this away.
where are you going? Over
I'm
here.
going right here.
Yeah, when's the next virtual tasting?
I know that's the
So we got some news, guys.
Yeah.
Buckle up. Everybody sit down.
got something new coming
Hugs,
your way.
hug your COVID partner. We're taking a break from virtual tastings.
Yeah.
Just for a little
A
bit.
little bit,
I don't know how long it's going to be, month, 2.
but you're
But
not
we're-
going to be without.
We're not leaving you high and dry.
No.
Never. We gotta go. We gotta look at grapes and farm some grapes and harvest.
Harvest is coming.
We got lots of stuff going on, and what we'd like to do is Kelsey Kramer, one of our lead somms on campus. She helps teach at both Lost Draw Cellars and at William Chris. Many of you guys know her. She's going to be taking on a class every
It's called
week.
Summer Sipping Wine. Oh my gosh, yeah. Summer
nailed this in
sipping
the pre-
series.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a tongue twister. Kelsey will do it better than I.
Mhm.
Summer sipping series.
Summer sipping series.
So there's 4 classes, 4 wines. You guys can get with her every week. It's going to be on Facebook.
Let's talk about the wines.
Yeah, it's
You
going to
want
be
to go
pretty
through
cool.
them? Do we
Cool.
have, Kelsey, we have them here?
Yeah, they're right.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Y'all do not want to miss these wines. And the first one, there's a whole story to this one.
Relief wine.
Uh-oh.
We did this last year. I don't know if you remember, but this year's
Just
different
now,
wine and
not even released yet.
It actually got
well,
released on
yeah,
Friday.
it was
I'm
in
just kidding.
store.
Friday.
You could have gotten it on the first, whatever day the first was.
And you can also order this by the case on our website right now as well. But this is going to be in this tasting. You can also find it at Whole Foods, Central Market, Kroger.
Primarily a Cinsault grape, which is what I was just saying was my favorite from today's
All-
tasting. So
All the
it's gonna be
profits of
good.
this wine, all the profits of this wine actually go to the Feeding Texas, which feeds into sponsor all the food banks across the state of Texas. So we're actually taking 100% of our profits and rolling it in.
You're
The food
drinking
banks.
for a good cause.
Yes.
That's right.
So 1 week, Kelsey will dive deep into this wine. She'll talk about the grapes. She'll talk about the wine making. She is really an educator. You're going to get so much out of all of her classes.
She really is like freaking.
She's
So knowledgeable.
incredible.
So
Yeah.
knowledgeable and so good at conveying that knowledge to you so that you truly will learn about it. You won't just enjoy the session, you will learn. Then you going to do the next one?
Sure. The next one is going to be the La Pradera Rosé 2020. This wine actually just won the best white wine in the state of Texas. We Texom, they have a couple hundred sommeliers from the best sommeliers from all over the country fly into Dallas, Texas, and taste these wines all blind. And we just found out that, and we're not big contest guys, but
This
But
is
we
a
like-
concept
but, you
that's
know.
worth it, Like this one that's I will say from entering contest over the last like 8 years, Texom is the one that actually separates the men from the boys, if you will.
Mhm.
And
You can believe in the results. for
yeah,
sure.
the
You'll be
results are
super
for real.
proud of it.
The
And we
judges
are.
for real.
yeah, and this got a platinum medal and best in judges' choice
favorite.
and judges' favorite and the best white
Best white
wine
wine at the place.
at the whole contest.
Okay,
That
what
wine
are the
is
other
fantastic
two?
too.
Then we've got a little Grenache from La Pradera as well,
I always
which
love
is
them.
delicious. This wine has taken lots of blood, sweat, and tears, brother. We have worked.
We have farmed that grape very hard, and
More
Man,
money
I
has
don't
been
know.
spent on that
That is-
block.
it's good though. It paid off.
It paid off. Yeah, this wine is delicious. The 2019 La Pradera Grenache.
As he's getting the next one, Katie, congratulations. You're getting married this month.
All right.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Congrats.
Also, the Tempranillo 2017 from Par Vineyards. Which is a killer vintage as well from Par. Very delicious.
Yeah, that Tempranillo is fantastic. Like year in and year out.
And this is the last year that we or 18 was the last vintage that we worked
Yep.
with Par. And those guys have been growing their own brand. If you guys haven't been to Mason, Texas and stopped by Par Vineyards, they are doing a great job. And we're we're sad not to buy the fruit anymore, but we're also happy that Rob and Delec are growing their brand. And if you haven't stopped by Par Vineyards in Mason, you absolutely should, because they're doing a really cool job.
It's cool stuff going on in Mason. You should
Yeah.
go out there. If you haven't been.
We're going tonight.
You definitely don't want to miss these classes with Kelsey. You guys get on when we're done, get this pack, use the code thank you for $20 off. That'll take it down to $120, which is a steal. And also add 2 more bottles so that you don't have to pay for shipping and you get more wonderful wine.
You
to
get all
enjoy.
those wines for $120.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's ridiculous. And the education from Kelsey.
Yeah.
Pretty
Wow, that is a good deal.
awesome.
I
These
guess
are
I
gonna
didn't approve that one either, but that's nobody ever asked me around here anymore.
These are going to start Wednesday, June 23rd. They'll go every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. until the late summer.
Absolutely.
did you have a
So
question?
supporting the
I was
good.
just gonna say,
Yeah.
like only the people on the virtual tasting right now get the code.
Oh yeah, the code is just for you guys. So act
Oh, take
today.
advantage.
They're going to
Yeah,
get-
it's not going to get
it's going
emailed
to
out.
disappear at the end of the day. It's not going to go out in an email. Just
Thank-
for y'all.
yeah, thank you.
you so much.
Thank you guys for all the amazing following. It's been 35 wonderful virtual tastings.
You got us through COVID.
Yeah, I feel like we've kind of been to war and back. So thank you very much. I know that we're planning some other cool events, especially around our biggest fans around the virtual tasting. So stay tuned for that. Oh shit! I almost forgot. I thought we were.
Was it sway time?
Are we gonna drink a sway?
We can drink a sway, but Amber's not
right.
done.
Yeah,
Chris
we're-
and I are taking a break, but
Y'all are
Drew
taking a
is
break,
not
but
done.
for all the dads out there, or the moms, daughters, sons,
Whatever. I'm going to share with
grandmothers.
you. This is huge.
we got some big news for Father's Day, because I know that I'm always like really late to the party on getting gifts for Mother's Day, but we got what you need right now. We're doing a virtual tasting for Father's Day. It's a Father's Day pack. It's geared for fathers or mothers, a wine to enjoy with your fathers.
Anybody.
But it's a cool little thing. We're actually doing it.
You know what you could do?
17th.
You could get your father a golfing trip, and then you could stay at home and watch this with your girlfriends too.
Yeah, exactly. You could get a Father's Day pack for yourselves and send your significant other, your father, whoever, to do something else. But it is actually, I think most of the dads out there would like this. This is a pack of all Syrah, and Syrah is a grape that is actually.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, so Syrah is
missed
like
that.
kind of a up and comer. We had a lot of challenges with it early in Texas, I feel like, but especially in the high plains, it's really come on a lot in the last 2 to 3 years, I would say. And we've started working with it a lot at Lost Draw, and we are doing a virtual tasting pack of all Syrah. So in this pack, if you go to lostdrawcellars.com, you can still get it. It's going to be June 17th. It'll be myself and Brad, the famous winemaker from Lost Draw, conducting the tasting. But we're doing a tasting, and what's the really cool thing about this is my favorite thing, and one of the traditions of Father's Day for me has always been grilling out with my dad, or even my father-in-law now that we live in Fredericksburg. It's always been something we always did, and my favorite thing to cook on the grill is ribs. And so I curated my rib recipe, which, you know, I don't know if it's famous or not, but
They're pretty damn good.
my
Yeah, we're
brother,
good now.
my brother-in-law, who is actually really, really good at cooking, Taylor Ward,
He
he's
is
probably watching. I'm actually giving you a compliment, so soak it in.
Wow.
He even says that I make ribs better than him. So this recipe is included in the
Taylor's
box.
probably the best meat man I know, to say the least.
Yeah, he's really good and does it good every time. So that's how I know that my ribs are good. He's like endorsed them.
That's
He's
the
like, put
only
stamp on it.
It's like
But
you
anyway,
really know.
the recipe is in the pack. It actually includes some my homemade rub. So I actually make a homemade rub. It's included in the pack as well. It comes with
I'm gonna get one of these.
I
didn't
know,
you were-
right?
I didn't
It's,
know you were doing all this.
We're
it
gonna be out of
comes with-
town. I don't know if we can bring the wine, but we'll try.
Yeah.
yeah, you could try it,
We'll
but
try.
you should, because it comes with the rub. So all you got to do is get your own little spare ribs pack, and then you can use the rub from the tasting. Follow all the steps that come with it. I mean, it's a good deal,
So,
right?
yeah, it's an excellent deal.
The coolest thing, maybe the coolest
There's
thing, I don't
more?
know. Yeah, there's more. So every year, if you've been associated with Lost Draw at all, or maybe you haven't, we started this little project. It's a bourbon barrel aged wine, and this year we did a bourbon barrel aged Syrah. So it's actually included. It's not bottled yet, but a barrel tasting of it is included in this pack. So you'll get a 375 split of the wine straight from the barrel. They actually bottled all the little splits for this pack last week. They love that, by the way, the hand bottling of the
bet
stuff
they
out
do.
of the barrel. But what's really cool is you actually get to taste this wine before it's even bottled. And if you like it, you know, that's generally a pretty hot selling wine for us. So you can
I'll go on record here and say
have first dibs at it.
this
Chris
is
loves the bourbon barrel aged wine. Just
so whenever this is like, was it Troy's?
Troy's idea. This is totally Troy.
He's like,
Ogner's
we should
idea.
make a bourbon barrel, and you know, I was talking to Brad. I was like, dude, you can't
Don't
stoop to this
do
level. Like, you know, all the like douche. Or I shouldn't say that.
No.
Sorry, all the loser brands that you know.
Censor.
No, you shouldn't say say that either. Just say you didn't think it was a great idea.
I didn't think it was a great idea because everybody's like jumping on this whole bandwagon. But what Brad did, what I really, and I was like, because all of it are just like pouring fake tannins and all this bullshit in this wine. I'm like, why are we trying to change the wine? But what I thought Brad did was really epic. Yeah, he, and you can correct me where I miss here, but the production method is really cool because he ferments that wine and then has it in concrete, right? And then throws it into the bourbon barrel, but it's only for
Concrete's last.
The concrete's last, so it's barrel.
Yeah, so it actually is a wine that we fully produce, ferment, and age in barrel to about 12 months. And then there's generally a stage in the winemaking process where you go through what's called racking. And so you'll actually like pull the wine out of barrel into a big tank and then go back into barrel after you clean lees out of the barrels. And at that stage, we will actually just rack into wet bourbon barrels. And I was kind of like you, bourbon barrel, the process for it and why I think it's unique is American oak is something that is required for bourbon and making bourbon. And
alligator char and all.
We're not actually trying to like add bourbon to the wine. What we're really essentially trying to do is pull that really unique toast and the unique components of the American oak, the coconut flavors, the vanilla flavors that you get from those barrels, pull it into the wine, add a little layer of complexity. It's not for everyone, I will say, but it's
not for very long. And that's
we do
the
it
main
for
difference.
45 days.
And I'll go on record. I'll say it. I changed my mind because I tasted this wine. It was like, Brad just looked at me and was like, what do you think? And I was like, it's delicious. And you're tasting this like local flavor of Garrison Brothers because immediately when you taste that wine, you taste that hint of Garrison Brothers too.
Yep, very
distinctive. But it's just like a little shade. And I think the wine is super cool and super interesting. So I stand corrected.
So there you go.
Yeah, and you get the Chris Brundrett stamp of approval.
There we go. So we also within that pack, so that's just one of the wines, and you get a split of it. And then we have the New Grower Project wine, which is an extended maceration Syrah. So another really fun wine. It's been a really interesting process to see how that wine's like matured and aged, but it's a banger for sure. Yeah. And then one of the staples in the Lost Draw program, the Altaloma Syrah, is also included, and you get all of that in that pack, including my recipe and my rub. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good deal. And we're gonna have that virtual tasting on the 17th. So if you don't have anything,
and that's at 7:30. What is it?
Yeah, it's fun.
7:30 that night.
So you can make the ribs.
We're gonna make the ribs. So we're gonna hang out that day. Yeah, we're gonna have so if you want to make the ribs at your place and eat ribs with us, we're gonna actually make the ribs and have them there to
enjoy just to watch
with the wine as well. Eating. Yeah, we'll see who has the best pull on their ribs. That's tasting, but
oh my goodness,
it should be really good. So again, go to lostdrawcellars.com. You can get that pack on there. If you order it, it'll get shipped to you in time for the tasting on the 17th. So take it.
Perfect.
Awesome.
We still have a giveaway.
We have a giveaway. And by the way, guys, we had an amazing lunch, an amazing tasting.
With the previous giveaway winner.
Yeah, it was super fun.
So fun today.
To say the least.
Yeah. The Stonebrooks.
Yeah, the Stonebrooks had 12 people in. All right. Dig in.
What are we giving away? It's going to be a food and wine pairing
for six people.
6 people.
And a private tour here at William Chris Vineyards.
Get to come taste some wine out of the tanks, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Private tour.
All right, drum roll, please. Judy Turner.
All right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Judy, we know Judy. Right?
Oh, yeah, we do know Judy.
Yeah.
Hey, Judy, what's going on?
We'll get to see you soon.
Bring your hubby. Come on. And if you're not on, we're going to go to the next one.
Bring Amanda. I haven't seen her in
Scott
decades.
says bacon. I'm in.
Bacon. That's an old comment. Those are old comments.
Oh, sorry.
Hopefully, Judy,
if you're on, comment quick.
Tell us you're here. Otherwise, Kelsey, reach out to you, and we'll get it lined up.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Well, guys, get online, get the next pack. We love you. We appreciate you. I cannot say thank you enough. It's been 35 wonderful tastings. I feel like we've been through thick and thin.
I remember when we were
you've kept us together, you kept us alive.
Yeah. You've kept us alive. I can't say thank you enough. We appreciate you. Please join Kelsey. Please join Andrew. Catherine and I will be back. I'll be butt squeezing more than you know.
How come you don't squeeze my butt?
I'm sure he would.
I will.
Oh, here we go.
Don't tease me with a good time. All right, guys. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much. Cheers. Till next time.
Yeah, thank you.
Adios.
Come see us on Father's